I love podcasts now. I just watched one of the most emotional and most important episodes of a podcast I've ever seen. And we've got to go over this together. I hope you're ready to get in touch with your emotions, because this one, you're going to need a box of tissues nearby for.
What's one thing that you love as a man in the bedroom that you think is kind of falling off today, that you think more men should be into, more guys should be doing?
Oral sex. Eating pussy.
Amen. Our champion has arrived. Shout it louder for those in the back row.
But not just the act of it.
Yeah.
The entire performance. You should literally treat eating fucking labia, pons, clitoris, every piece, even inner thigh, as this like orchestral event.
I agree, man.
Ah, yes, just like the great artists that came before us, you must treat eating pussy like Mozart treated his symphonies. You're the conductor, and that flesh in front of you is your instruments. So slam her thighs together like they're cymbals and fucking tongue punch that pussy like it's the percussions. An orchestral performance is amazing. So I watched this whole episode, and this guy tries his best to be some kind of emotionally deep and profound intellectual throughout it. So as he's talking about eating pussy, it almost sounds like an ASPCA commercial where he's making it like so heart-wrenching, like it's weighing on him heavily, like taxing his psyche, thinking about all of the pussy gone uneaten. So he's like, I half expected him to be pitching a tent there with the way he was getting into it. Like I felt like he was starting to get hard.
Girls tell me that they'll say, yeah, my ex would go down on me, but be no more than 15 seconds until he would just come up and then start inserting into me. It's like, okay, well, you're not going to get anything done in 15 seconds. I'm sorry. I don't care how good you are. You're not.
Yeah.
Things take time, especially when you're working with such a beautifully intricately designed, like, I love it.
Oh yeah, you can see the butterflies get in his tummy as he gets the joy of talking so passionately about something he clearly loves so much. Vagina. Oh yeah, he's getting like the chills going over it. It feels like he's just pretending. It's so over the top, it just feels forced and fake. It honestly just seems like he's making an audition tape to find a girlfriend in the comment section on TikTok. It reminds me of like when people around you are talking about something that you don't really know about, but you don't want to feel excluded and be looked at like a weirdo, so you just kind of pretend like, oh yeah, Severance, of course I've seen it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Stop me if I'm just, blabbering on, but I could go on and on for hours about this show. Like, the writing is watertight, and the cinematography is some of the best I've ever seen. Like, and that episode you're talking about, I was stunned. I was actually stunned. Meanwhile, I haven't started Severance yet.
Before the podcast started, I was ready with that question because Garrett was looking in the mirror over there and he was going, you know what I miss? I miss eating pussy. And I was like, save it for the podcast.
I do.
So that's why he got so into it.
Like, I could feel my eyes dilate saying that too, because...
Slow down, Robert Frost. What do you mean you can feel your eyes dilate? He's trying to be poetic and shit, but it just comes across so silly. Brother, you have a problem. Before going on a podcast, he just stops and looks in the mirror to cry about how much he misses eating pussy. I think of all my maidens out there, the miladies that aren't having their box eaten by me, and I can't help but cry thinking about it. But they're not tears of sadness. They're tears of pity. I feel bad for all these women that don't sit on my face.
Peter knows I've been celibate for way too long now. I'm doing good.
Thank God, I was worried you weren't being strong about this. It sounds like you're doing really well, breaking down in front of a mirror, lamenting that you're not having a buffet of pussy. It sounds like you're hanging on there by a thread.
But I looked in the mirror over there for a second, and I was not doing good. Because I saw my eyes. And right when I saw my eyes, all I saw was just the act of... I see it again.
Yeah.
But the act of eating... pussy.
Oh my God, it's so sad. It really is. Like he's being a real trooper here. He's being so brave about it. Like this is up there with, Vietnam flashbacks. You can see the PTSD. So he just catches a glimpse of his eyes in the mirror and then the world stands still. And all he can think about, all he can picture in his head playing over and over like a movie on repeat is the pussy he once ate but does no longer. What a cursed existence. Damn this forsaken world!
Moving on. Have you ever been with a girl that has an IUD?
Yes.
I've spoken about this before, and
Yeah.
and my little brother was like, can you feel it?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I felt it." All the comments were hating on me. You can't feel it. You can't reach in there, and I was like, "You can, you can." So then I did a little more research because I know I felt something, and apparently it's the string that's hanging down. You could feel.
Yes.
So I wanted to elaborate that you can feel an IUD. It's just the string that's kind of hanging down a little bit low.
As he was going through this exhilarating tale, I thought it was going in such a different direction where, the comments were clowning on me for my IUD take, so I did a little more research, and turns out they were right. I wasn't feeling the IUD. Instead, what I felt, I realized, was Garrett's penis coming in through her butt, and our tips touched in the middle. Like, I thought that's where it was going with the way Garrett was reacting to it. That's the man really in touch with pussy eating and, like, his emotional chakras. That's Garrett.
But it hurts. It feels like a hard metal you're hitting. It's not very comfortable.
I find it pleasing in some shape or form, only because it's
Wait,
just,
an IUD you find pleasing?
well, not pleasing, but it's a nice little surprise at the end, you know?
At the end? What the fuck are you talking about?
We're about 30 minutes deep into the podcast here, and now even the host, Peter, is starting to get, like, a little concerned and on edge. Like, Garrett, what the fuck? Like, he just outright calls him out on it. Because this has been his aura the entire show, where it just feels like he is trying to cater every single response to trying to make women go, ah. And he's just saying things that are just weird. So he'll just be, like, flicking the water bottle top. Sat on a banana. Changed my life forever. I find serenity in having G-spot manipulations conducted by unlicensed chiropractors. Did you know that? It's because it allows me to find more peace within myself. Because I found, through walking this path of celibacy, a path not many would dare walk, but me being Garrett, the bravest man on this planet, I walk it while thinking of pussy day and night. And while the rain crashes upon my glowing skin, I think to myself, what's next? Where do we go from here? Where do we come from? What happens after we die? And these thoughts wash over me like a toilet bowl flushing a morning shit. And that's when I realize I miss pussy. I miss it so much because I just love it so much. The intricate design. Oh, it's divine. Yeah, it is. There I go. Thinking about pussy again. It's just such a beautiful thing. Yeah. IUDs. No, you're right, Peter. You can feel them, and it's just such a special surprise inside the cereal box, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, I use my spoon, penis, and I go in there and I'm scooping out the IUD. I'm scooping it out. It's just so good. It's just so good. It's so good.
What do you,
For another day.
do you know what an IUD is? Or are you just saying shit?
I'm just saying shit. Yeah.
Wait, do you not know what an IUD is? There's no way you just went along with this conversation.
No, I know. No, I do know what it is.
What is it?
It's a fucking contraceptive that's up inside.
Okay, so why'd you just say it's a surprise at the end?
The end of the tunnel. Like, everything's going great, and then you just get a surprise. Just for being there.
Okay.
Garrett, you're overheating right now. Tell those neurons to slow down because they are cooking too much. Like, you're not looking like a desirable mate. Like, your wife isn't in the comment section right now leaving her phone number. Right now, you're looking like a fool.
You wouldn't, I think I've asked you this, would you ever not sleep with a girl if she was on her period?
Ever not sleep with
Yeah,
her?
like, would you not sleep with a girl just because she's on her period? Like, would you be like,
No,
Well,
I would
wait.
never react like that.
how would you react?
I'd be excited about the situation, actually.
Pretty normal response. Oh, you're on your period? Yeah! It's go time! I love that he's like almost offended, like, no! I would absolutely not react with disgust. In fact, I would be elated. Like, I am at my most jubilant when she is on her period. I see that, and I can't stop smiling. It's the most special thing in the world, actually.
I've always been excited.
Why would you be excited?
Because I feel that specifically a woman's like perineal blood coming from
Perineal, dude. What?
from that area.
What's is that a word?
Yeah, perineal is just the area right here
Okay.
for all of us. So the blood coming from the cervix.
Yeah.
I truthfully believe that it has some divinity to it. I believe that it has healing
I agree with
components
that.
to it.
I agree with that.
And not only
Science also agrees with that. You remember the whole fountain of youth thing? Well, they found it inside some pussy. You see, the blood coming from the cervix, as Garrett is describing here, it is not only has divinity, it legitimately can act as a panacea, curing pretty much anything under the sun. You need only be an alpha in touch with his emotions like Garrett. Like, you need to be excited by the sight of it, and you should be, because it's a magic elixir, that blood. Now, as someone that doesn't have periods, I can only speculate on how great that must be, and how lucky you are to have such a powerful divinity pouring out from your orifices. And it's a drink fit for a king like Garrett.
is it a belief. It's just something that I love to entertain and be a part of. I feel like there's such a connective thing that you get to share.
I think that's how you create a soul tie.
It could be, and
It most definitely is a soul tie. I never stopped to think about it, but now it seems so obvious. Absolutely, it's a soul tie. Period fucking, it takes two souls and does this. And then they digivolve into one soul that's tied now.
if it doesn't create a soul tie, it sure as hell creates a wonderful experience sexually.
If I can't get my sword a little bloody, I'm not a good knight.
Dope. Words well spoken, bro. That was profound. If I can't get my sword a little bloody, not a good night. Honestly, I think that's the most beautiful conclusion to such an emotionally charged episode of this podcast. I fucking loved that. Wow. Garrett, thanks so much for your service to Vagina Everywhere. You're a real gift. Like, I don't know what he's doing right now. Maybe he's sitting in a dimly lit room writing haikus, going over how much of a blessing it is to be able to even exist in a world that has pussy in it. And you know what? That thought brings me solace. That's about it. See ya.